Hello children, I am Devushri Nandi. I am your science and maths teacher. Today I'll be covering one of the topics in the science subject. As you all know that the science subject is divided into three parts: physics, chemistry and biology. So today I am going to take the topic from chemistry. Okay. So as we all know that in chemistry we are going to study thousands of chemicals which are found in this universe. I am giving you some of the examples of the chemicals. You must have also heard some chemicals you are using every day in your life. So these chemicals are like cement, limestone, turmeric, phenyl, aluminum, iron, calcium. Okay, you must have heard that there is calcium in our teeth. Your most of the things in your house are made up of iron, right? Wood is also another chemical, right? But it is man-made. Okay, so to understand these chemicals, we need to understand their properties. Every chemical has one or the other property. You can easily understand that iron is different from plastic because they both have different type of properties. So why we need to study their property is that so that we can use them in our day-to-day life. We can choose the chemical based on its quality for doing any of our work. I'm just giving you a simple example. Suppose you want to make some utensils, so you will either choose iron or you will either choose steel or either choose a copper. Okay, so similarly if you want to make, let's say, curtains, so you will choose cotton or silk. So this is the way the chemicals differs. Okay, everything in this universe, every object, every composition, you can say, is a chemistry. Okay, now so we broadly classify these chemicals, or you can say we can say these chemicals or these elements as metals, non-metals and metalloids. Okay, so what are metals? Metals exist as solids at room temperature. Examples are gold, silver, iron, lithium, etc., except mercury and gallium. Mercury and gallium are exceptions to metal as they exist in liquid, but we categorize metals to be as, most of the metals to be as solids. Okay. Now second is the non-metal. They exist as liquid, mainly liquid and gases, except carbons, sulfur and phosphorus, which exist as solid, and hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen that exist as gases. Okay, examples of liquid non-metals are bromine, iodine, etc. Okay, then chlorine. Okay, these are all, you can say, liquids. Okay, now third one is chlorine is basically gas. Okay, now metalloids are intermediate between arsenic, silicon, are intermediate between metals and non-metals. They are arsenic, silicon and germanium are some of the examples. So now we will study total 10 properties of the metals and non-metals. Okay. Now first property is the physical state. Now whenever we look at something, it is its physical state. Okay, and when we test it, when we touch it or something, we do it, so then we are testing the chemical. So in the physical state, metals are they are like very hard, and they have a, you can say, you will feel a hardness in them. Okay, and they are also somewhat glossy. Okay, then second is the luster. Luster itself means the glossiness, or you will feel a shining effect when light falls on the metal. Now third is hardness. Metals are very hard. Okay, they are hard than non-metals, you can say. And then fourth is the ductility. Ductility means that the ability of a metal to convert it into wires. So you can easily convert the metal ores into wires and use it in for any use. Okay. Now fifth property is the malleability. Malleability means ability of a metal to convert into sheets, because if you want to, let's say if you want to make an aeroplane, okay, So you need a sheet of metal, you need a sheet of aluminum, okay, to make that aeroplane. So that is why it is very necessary for a metal to convert it into to be malleable, and we can convert it into sheet. Okay, now 6 is the conduction of heat. Now if suppose there is no heat conduction in the metal, so how will you cook your food in the utensils? Now you know most of the utensils are made up of either iron or you can say copper. So if there is no conduction, okay, so then how will you cook your food? So conduction of heat, or you can say the passing of heat from the gas burner to the metal, and then the heat will be passed whatever you are cooking in that. Okay, suppose you are cooking some vegetable or some dal, so it will go inside that. So that is known as the conduction of heat. Now electricity, all the wire, all the electric appliances you are using, okay, even I am using this laptop, so I need to make it charge, okay. So for charging you need electricity. So electricity is conducted through the wires, and most commonly used element for making the wires is the copper. Then is the density. So they have higher density. Metals usually have higher density than the non-metals. Okay. So then and density gives them that solid, you can say solid state, or you can say that heaviness in them. Okay. Then metals and non-metals have usually MP and BP are the melting and boiling point. Metal and non-metals have usually higher melting and boiling points than non-metals. Then 10th point is sonority. Now sonority means that ability to make a sound. So whenever, if let's say you had a utensil and it falls on the ground, so that noise which comes, or you can say the sound which comes is known as the sonority. So by these property you can test whether the substance given to you is a metal or non-metal, or you can say metalloid. Metalloids are generally we use them in the chips, you know, the silicon chips which are used in the laptop. Okay, so this is for today, and we will meet with another lecture someday else. Okay.